Most men don't realize this. Your 30s are the decade that decide the rest of your life. Not your 20s. Not your teenage years. Your 30s. This is the period where everything starts to count for real. Your decisions, your habits, your mindset, your discipline, or the lack of it. And here's the harsh reality. If you don't wake up now, it'll already be too late. Because your 30s move faster than any decade before. One year slips away, then another, and before you know it, you look back and realize you wasted the most important years of your life. Men think they have time, but time in your 30s doesn't move slowly. It accelerates. Your body changes. Your responsibilities increase. Your opportunities shrink if you don't evolve with them. And the world stops tolerating the excuses that you got away with in your 20s. This is the decade where some men rise and build an unstoppable life, and others fall into quiet desperation. Stuck, lost, unhappy, trapped in routines they never wanted. Pretending things are fine while silently dying inside. Most men don't realize how dangerous their 30s can be. A single wrong choice can cost you years. A single wrong partner can derail your future. A single year of laziness can turn into a decade of regret. But the scary part, these mistakes don't happen in one big moment. They happen slowly, quietly, almost invisibly, and they destroy your future without you even noticing. That's why we need to talk about this, because the men who fix these mistakes early become unrecognizable in 5 years. More confident, more successful, more respected, more fulfilled. They build a life that other people admire, a life they wake up excited to live. But the men who ignore these mistakes, they spend their 40s trying to repair the damage. They spend their 50s wishing they could go back. They spend their lives watching other men win, while knowing deep down, they could have been so much more. So let's talk about the biggest mistakes men make in their 30s. The silent traps, the subtle habits, the hidden decisions that destroy their health, their happiness, their finances, and their purpose. You need to hear this, because your future self is begging you to pay attention. 1. Letting comfort win. The silent killer of men in their 30s. In your 20s, life gives you unlimited retreats. You can be lazy, waste time, drift around, and somehow, things still work out. But once you enter your 30s, everything changes. Comfort stops being a reward and starts becoming a trap. This is the decade where most men quietly give up on themselves. Not in a dramatic, obvious way, but slowly, subtly. They stop setting goals. They stop reading. They stop learning anything new. They wake up, go to work, come home, watch something, scroll social media, sleep, and then repeat the exact same cycle the next day. It feels like normal life, but it's actually a soft form of decline. Here's the truth most men don't want to accept. Comfort is not peace. Comfort is slow destruction disguised as safety. Comfort makes you believe you're doing fine, when in reality, you're drifting further away from the man you could have been. In your 30s, the gap between the man who pushes himself and the man who chooses comfort grows wider every single year. One man becomes sharper, stronger, smarter, more valuable. The other slowly becomes unmotivated, insecure, and stuck. If you're not actively growing in your 30s, you're not staying the same, you're falling behind. Comfort might feel good today, but the bill it sends you in your 40s and 50s is brutal. This is the decade where you either build momentum or you lose it forever. 2. Ignoring their health. The damage you don't see until it's too late. Your 30s are the decade when most men quietly destroy their bodies without even realizing it. Not because they want to, but because convenience slowly replaces discipline. Fast food becomes quick. Skipping sleep becomes necessary. Avoiding workouts becomes not today, maybe tomorrow. And that I'll start next week turns into next month, then next year, then suddenly it's been a full decade. Men don't notice the damage happening because it happens slowly. One missed workout, one late night, one unhealthy meal at a time. But here's the harsh reality. Your body keeps score even when you pretend not to. Your metabolism slows down. Your energy drops. Your confidence fades. Your testosterone declines. Your strength disappears. You start waking up tired, going to bed exhausted, and feeling old before your time. By the time most men see the consequences, the damage has already built up for years, and reversing it becomes 10 times harder. Your health in your 30s isn't just about looking good. It decides how you show up in your 40s and 50s. Are you strong or fragile? Sharp or sluggish? Motivated or depressed? Capable or constantly tired? Your body is your foundation. If you neglect it now, everything else, your career, your goals, your relationships, will eventually collapse. This decade gives you one of two futures: a stronger version of yourself, or a version that spends the next 20 years recovering from the damage you caused today. The choice is always yours. 3. Choosing part in years out of LONELINES. The mistake that can cost a decade. Out of all the mistakes men make in their 30s, this one is the most dangerous because the damage doesn't show up immediately. It grows quietly, slowly, and painfully. Most men don't choose a partner. They settle for whoever shows interest. Why? Because the pressure hits hard in your 30s. Society tells you it's time to settle down. Family keeps asking questions. Friends start getting married. And when you're alone long enough, loneliness starts whispering in your ear. Just choose someone, anyone. And that's when most men make the biggest mistake of their lives. They ignore red flags. They overlook bad behavior. They convince themselves it's good enough. But good enough is never good enough when it comes to the person who will share your future. Here's the brutal truth. The wrong partner doesn't just hurt your heart. She destroys your peace, your finances, your mental health, and your sense of purpose. A toxic partner can drain your ambition. She can waste your time, your energy, and your years. She can distract you from your goals until you forget who you were supposed to become. And the worst part, you won't realize how much you lost until you finally walk away and look back at the decade you can't get back. But the right partner, she doesn't drain your life. She multiplies it. She supports your goals. She respects your time. She helps you grow rather than holding you back. She becomes a source of strength, not stress. This is why your 30s require wisdom, not desperation. Choose wisely, or don't choose at all. Being alone is far better than being with someone who slowly destroys your future. Your partner should be an asset to your life, not a liability you spend years trying to escape. 4. Not building high-influence skills. The reason most men stay broke forever. Your 30s are supposed to be the decade where you finally build financial power. Not because money is everything, but because freedom is impossible without it. But here's the problem. Most men enter their 30s and get trapped in the illusion of stability. A stable job, a stable paycheck, a stable routine. And they think that's enough. But stability is not security. Stability is a trap that keeps you just comfortable enough to stop growing, and just scared enough to never leave. This is why so many men spend their entire lives stuck in low-paying jobs, complaining about money, but never learning the skills that actually change their income. Your income should not stay the same for 5, 7, or 10 years. If it does, it means you're not becoming more valuable. The world rewards value, not effort, not loyalty, not time served. Value. And the only way to increase your value is by building high-income skills. Skills that people pay for. Skills that solve problems. Skills that make you irreplaceable. Sales, because everything in life is communication. Coding, because the world is built on software. AI tools, because those who master them will replace those who don't. Content creation, because attention is the new currency. Business, because ownership beats employment every time. Leadership, because people follow those who take responsibility. When you build high-income skills in your 30s, you build leverage. Leverage creates options. Options create freedom. But if you don't, your 40s become a decade of regret. Your 50s become a decade of surviving instead of living. Your 30s are not the time to stay comfortable. They are the time to sharpen your value, your knowledge, and your earning potential. Because this decade decides one thing. Will you spend the next 20 years struggling, or the next 20 years living free? 5. Caring what other people think. The invisible prison that hate all us men back. If there's one thing that silently destroys a man in his 30s, it's the constant need to be liked, to be approved, to be accepted. Too many men waste the most important decade of their life trying to impress people who don't even like them. People who wouldn't lift a finger to help them. People who forget they exist the moment they walk away. They dress to impress strangers. They buy things they don't need to look successful on the outside while feeling empty on the inside. They silence their own dreams because they're scared someone might laugh, judge, or criticize them. But here's the truth most men don't realize until it's too late. Nobody is thinking about you. Everyone is too busy worrying about their own problems, their own insecurities, their own failures. You're living like the world is watching, but everyone is living in their own world. So why are you giving strangers so much power over your life? Why are you delaying your dreams? Why are you stopping yourself from taking risks? Why are you staying small just to avoid judgment that won't matter in 5 years? In your 30s, every decision you make either builds your future or buries it. And the more you care about what others think, the more you shape your life based on their opinions instead of your purpose. Living for approval is the fastest way to die without ever living your own life. Stop performing. Stop pretending. Stop trying to be impressive. Start doing what actually matters. Start living like your future depends on your courage today, because it does. Your life becomes truly yours the moment you stop caring who's watching. 6. Postponing their dreams. Someday is the biggest lie men believe. There's one sentence that ruins more men's lives than failure ever will. I'll do it someday. Someday, when things are calm. Someday, when I have more money. Someday, when I'm ready. Someday, when life is easier. But here's the painful truth. Someday never comes. Your 20s were the decade of experimenting. But your 30s? This is your last real window to build something before life hits you with more responsibility. Family, bills, aging parents, health issues, pressure, obligations. Every year you wait. Your energy drops, your courage fades, your free time shrinks, and your dreams start to feel further and further away. And then one day, you wake up and realize you didn't run out of opportunities. You ran out of time. Your 30s are not a decade to delay. They're a decade to create. Start the business. Start the YouTube channel. Start the skill. Start the dream. Start the new life you keep imagining but never act on. Because here's the reality most men avoid. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes. Not because you're incapable, but because your life gets heavier. Your 30s give you a choice. Build the life you want now, or spend your 40s and 50s wishing you started earlier. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. And now it is the only time powerful enough to change your life. 7. Losing Their masculinity, the fall of the modern man. Modern life has made it incredibly easy for men to become soft. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually soft. Every comfort is instantly available. Every distraction is one click away. Every challenge can be avoided with a simple excuse. No struggle. No discipline. No clear goals. No sense of mission. And when a man stops challenging himself, he doesn't become peaceful. He becomes depressed. When a man stops pursuing purpose, he doesn't become relaxed. He becomes weak. A man's edge, his drive, his ambition, his hunger, doesn't disappear overnight. It fades slowly, like a blade that no one sharpens anymore. Your 30s are the decade where this becomes dangerous, because this is when most men settle into autopilot. Same routine, same job, same thoughts, same comfort zone. And a man who lives without challenge eventually stops believing in himself. He loses confidence. He loses fire. He loses identity. A dull blade can't cut. A soft man can't lead. And a man without an edge cannot build the life he wants. Your 30s are the time to sharpen everything. Your mind, through learning, reading, and facing difficult problems. Your body, through discipline, strength, and physical training. Your ambition, through setting goals that scare you and chasing them relentlessly. Masculinity isn't about aggression or dominance. It's about direction, purpose, discipline, and strength. Your edge is not something you're born with. It's something you choose to maintain. And if you don't sharpen it in your 30s, you risk losing it forever. Your 20s were for learning. Your 30s are for building. And your 40s, those are for enjoying the life you created with your discipline, your decisions, and your courage. But here's the truth that most men don't want to face. If you waste your 30s, you don't just lose time. You lose momentum. You lose opportunities. You lose parts of yourself you may never get back. Your 30s are the turning point. This is the decade where you either rise into the man you were meant to be, or you sink into the man you promised you would never become. Millions of men coast through their 30s thinking they have time. They think the right moment will magically appear. They think success will simply happen because they deserve it. But life does not reward potential. It rewards action. It rewards effort. It rewards consistency when no one is watching. If you waste these years, you'll spend the rest of your life paying for it, in ways you can't even imagine yet. You'll feel it in your body when the energy is gone. You'll feel it in your bank account when opportunities pass you by. You'll feel it in your relationships when you realize you settled for less. You'll feel it in your mind when regret becomes heavier than hope. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can change your story. You can change your direction. And you can change your entire future with one decision. To start. Start now. Not next month. Not next year. Not someday. Because someday is the most dangerous lie you will ever listen to. Start today. Start with what you have. Start even if you're scared. Start even if you feel behind. Start even if you don't know the exact path. The path reveals itself to the man who starts walking. Your future self is watching you. Your future family is counting on you. Your future life is waiting for you to take the first step. Time is the one thing you can't buy back. Once it's gone forever. So use what you have, while you have it, before it becomes a memory you wish you could rewrite. Because the rest of your life begins with what you do right now.